Okay, we should tell where it says if x equals 1.
Let's see what great.
Okay, but is that true?
No.
Okay.
All right. Oh, thank you.
Right high.
Ooh, that's a nice one. No, no,
Right.
X is not equal 1, so do not write high.
So then it also doesn't do that. So then we also don't write 5, and we write 5.
So phi is outside this if statement.
Right.
So it ends if. So no matter what happens in this if statement, you are going to write phi.
Right.
So all you need to determine is whether or not you're writing I or Y. You'll never write both. It is impossible to write both I and Y.
Otherwise, so if X is not
Good.
equal 1, it's saying that if X equals 1, write high.
Right,
Otherwise,
that part
it
I-
doesn't really write.
Why?
There you go.
So it's
Y, 5. There you go.
Is part of the answer right?
There, it's, I know the else. It's like.
No, I mean,
No,
Okay,
no,
guys, there's the student
no,
session
because this is
going.
what-
Let's get to work now.
okay.
What is this?
We are going to get started. That's where we left off the other day. And you guys have a lot of assignments coming up. Yeah, no. And it shouldn't be a problem because I'm actually going to be gone Thursday. You're going to have a sub. So because we're in technical ed class, I don't get to put one of those little signs out on the door like you've seen all around the building today about class being canceled. They don't want me to do that. Instead, we have subs. Because you guys' classes are so important. We can't just cancel. So it's going to work out good because we have a couple of kind of learning platforms that I want you to get started with and get through. And your short answers to those review questions for chapter 4. So that's what the lesson plan will be for Thursday. It's for all this stuff you guys are supposed to be working on. So it'll be kind of an independent study sort of day. So if you like to do that someplace else, you would be counted absent, but there will just be a sub here. So that's up to you. So before we do that, let's get done with our Python program that we were writing last time, right? So can you remember, what was that editor program we were using to write that Python code? Idle, that's right. So can you find it? Should be able to find it. My pages keep opening behind.
Yeah, it'll always do weird stuff like that.
I need to take my computer to IT.
Okay, so here's idle. So where's my program? I like those editors that just display the program you were working on. Idle is not that editor, is it? So how could I find that program that I was working on? Do you remember? We only did it the one time. So I want you to really think about it. How could we find it?
We go to File, Open.
That would work. And then we want to go find that Python file that we saved last time. Now, I remember, bless you, I saved mine in my 120 folder, and I created this Fall 19 folder. So I should have it in there. And it was our sale price program .py. Does it look familiar? Now, remember, if you weren't here last time, well, you wouldn't remember that because you weren't here. But if you weren't here last time, I dropped this onto our Discord chat channel so you could grab it. So if you had any sort of problem keeping up with the code or anything like that, it's out there on Discord if you want to grab that code. Now let's kind of review what we had done so far. First of all, we started out with some nice comments, and we saw that Python likes the pound sign or the hashtag as the beginning of some comments. We can do that in some other ways too that we'll explore as we work on stuff. Then we went ahead and declared all of our variables, and I said we were going to use these as global variables. So we went ahead and put that in our comment. It wouldn't matter. We were still going to declare all of our variables. Then we went ahead and coded the statements that we need for our input module. We said that we wanted to define our input module, and we saw that this was the Python syntax for defining a module, and Python calls that a function. So this function is named input mod. When we name a function, we have to put the opening, closing parentheses after the function name and a colon. Then all of the code that is within that function has to be indented. We saw just a little bit that if it wasn't evenly indented, there would be some errors. So if we press the space bar one time and the tab key the next time, we're going to have trouble with our Python program. And it won't be code, it'll be that indenting. It'll say there's improper indentation and be a real pain. Now, at the end of our input module, we don't really have to put any end statement per se. We just quit indenting. And that let Python know we were at the end of that input module. Now, this code over here that's not indented is kind of like our main, right? We haven't put our main function in here yet, but that's kind of what we're building down here. We're saying run the input module, then print out the item name variable, the original price variable, and the discount rate variable. I messed up that circling. There it is. So we ran this and everything ran okay. We saw that we had our input module running. But one reason I like that little Raptor program, that flow charting program we use, is that it shows you what's happening. It lets you see it. So let's go find a place that will let us see what's happening with our Python code. Let's copy all this. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to select the whole thing, and I'm going to copy it. And then I want to go to the web, and I'm going to search for a site. Now, I know it's called Python Tutor or something like that, but sometimes it's easier to find things by searching, and then that way you don't have to remember the exact name. So I'm going to search for like visual Python. I want to see it. Well, that didn't do me very good. Let's make it visualize. I always do that and find it. Ah, it's a little ways down. It's like the third one down. And this is the one I'm looking for. This pythontutor.com where it says to visualize. So notice this website lets you actually visually execute code in many different languages. Now, because it works in many different languages, we want to make sure this drop-down box here is set to Python. So we want Python 3.6. Because I could come in here, I could use this same utility with Java. Now I want to paste that code. So if I can't right-click and paste, I'll just do a Control-V, but it let me right-click and paste. Now all my code is sitting here in this code window on this Python Tutor website. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click Visualize Execution. When I click Visualize Execution, we go to a new window and we're going to start executing our program. This little red arrow right here is showing me what line of code it's going to begin executing on. So this line number 8. Now if I scroll down, because our program is a little big, I'm going to need to click forward. When I click forward, you should see that red arrow move. Now, nothing's happening. Oh, wait, it is. Here we go. Here's our memory. So in memory, after we processed that line of code, we ended up with an item name variable. It doesn't have any value. It's just double quotes, but we can see what it's set to. Now I'm going to click next or forward again to create our original price variable. And now we've got it sitting there in memory. Now let's create our discount rate variable. And as we click forward, stepping through our code, we'll see all of our variables get allocated in memory. So now they're all sitting there. We know what their names are and what their values are. So kind of like Raptor, where it was showing us all of that. So it's helpful. Well, now I'm finally to this line of code that defines my function. So I'm going to click forward. And you'll see that Python is just going to kind of jump past that. So it read all of our code for our module, and now it's to this line of code that's actually going to execute our input module. So now when we click forward, we should see it jump back up to run our module. Now, the first thing it's doing is it's saying input with this prompt. And if I scroll down, here's my prompt in my input line. So I have to give it some input. Let's call it, what do we call it? A sailboat. I want a sailboat. Sail buoy. And I'm going to click submit. Now that's going to process my input. Now I see that item name is now equal to the sailboat entry that I input. Now it's sitting, waiting to run this line of code to prompt for the original price. So if I click forward, oh, there it is. It's already waiting for me. I'll say the original price is 1,000. So now my original price has a value in memory. Now it's waiting for the discount percent. I'll type in 20. And if we keep clicking forward, we should see it print out each of those variables. So you can kind of see how the execution is jumping around a little bit with our different modules. And here at the very end is all of the input we prompted for and the output that we displayed. Now, it's kind of jumpy, so it jumps you around a bunch because when you prompt for input, it throws you places. So you have to decide if it helps you or makes you confused. And if it makes you confused, then wait until we're past asking for input and maybe we just want to do some math problems with this visualizer. But think about it either way. It's giving me some great information here. I'm seeing that the function I had was named input mod. It called that. It did some things. Over here are all our variables and all their final results. Okay? So the visualizer can be good, can be bad, but I wanted you to know that it's available and out there. So let's finish our program. I'm going to let you try that just for a sec, and then we'll finish it up. I think that it's just an awesome tool. Okay, so looking at our sale price program, we need to get a couple of other things open here, don't we? First of all, we had Word open with that Word document we were creating, which was our Python quick reference. So I'm going to get that open again. Well, mine shrunk down to mini print. There we go. You can see it now. It looks like my quick reference doesn't have the input statement. How about you guys? Are we missing that one? Did we get to code? Oh, nope, there it is. Variable name equal input, float input. All right, we got it. Anything? Can you see anything on there that we're missing? Good, so we shouldn't need too many more different types of statements to finish up our program. So then the next thing that I want to get open is the pseudocode for this program. Now, if you want to have it open, remember last time it can be pretty helpful for us, but I'll have it so we can refer to it. Once we get everything open, you'll be like, now I know why those people get so grouchy when we make them change computers, huh? This is why I hate changing computers. This is why us programmers just close our laptops and walk off and stop setting them down, right? We got all these things open to compare to. We got to. All right, so here's my pseudocode. We have our input module already done. So we need to do our calculations module. So in our calculations module, we had two local variables. But I think we'd already declared these as global. So I will be able to use those global variables. And then we just have a few calculations in this module to finish everything up. So let's add that. The first thing we need is to define that function. So I want my calculations function to go right under this input module. So I'm going to put the def keyword, and I'll just name it calc mod. Now, if everything in the world were perfect, I would name this function the same as it was named on my pseudocode, but that's not a rule by any means, because pseudocode is just what it is, you know, kind of an English-like no rule language. Okay, so in our calculation module, the first thing is we need to specify which global variables we're going to update in our calculations module. So we're going to be updating amount saved, sale price, tax, and total price. Our tax amount was a constant, so we won't be updating it. And I'm going to go ahead and put a comment like last time. Oops, maybe. If idle does that to you where it's popping up that weird display, you can just press the space bar, and that'll kind of make it go away. Again, I'm going to tell Python these globals will be updated. And we're using global variables because they're important, and also because we need to know a little bit about them. And then in a chapter or two, we'll switch and not use global variables anymore. Okay, so we're ready to calculate our amount saved. So we said the formula for that is the original price times, and then within parentheses, our discount rate divided by 100. Now, since we're just getting started, we could actually put a print statement right after that to print out that amount saved. And then we could put a call in to our new module, calc mod. And then I'd be ready to run this program to test it and make sure that my amount saved calculation is working properly. Let's try it. I'm going to click run. And do a sailboat again.
Which part on run did you put? That's on shell or run module?
Run module, the bottom one. So that looks good. I said the price was 1,000, the discount was 10. So my amount saved should be 100. Did it work?
I did something funky.
What'd you do?
I don't know, it says I didn't define original price.
Can you share?
Yeah, I sure can. Let me pull up the Zoom.
There we go. What's it say?
So what, I'll run it, run module. Sale vote, what you said, 1,000,
Mm-hmm.
10%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it not showing what is happening now? Do I have to do I have to share it?
Share your screen, not just that one window.
Oh, okay. So, share screen, there.
I'm happy to see it.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Oh,
It's a little small.
What is wrong there?
Won't embarrass me, I like learning, don't
Yeah, we don't ever want anybody to be embarrassed. We want to help each other.
I? Right.
The main reason being,
Oh,
we can have some people that get really valuable errors.
Right.
You see it?
The text is
So-
super small, though.
so in your beneath the input mod, your original price, look at how you spelled it.
Woo.
Oh,
Oh, I put original.
Original.
My dyslexia. I didn't spell original correctly.
And that's super common. Anybody else getting any errors?
The traceback thing?
Your
So should I try running it again?
Try running again.
Okay, I have to save it before I can run it, right?
Yeah, or else it'll force you to. That looks better. So you guys don't be embarrassed, because your errors will probably really help everybody else.
Oh, yeah, the space.
Right.
Original. It looks like a typo again. Yeah,
Where am I?
missing the I
Right here.
right there. Uh-huh. And it's really easy to make errors like that at first until you really get used to coding. And then you will see me make the same kind of errors. It's just sometimes we get to typing faster than we should
There it
or
is.
whatever. That fix it all?
Yeah.
Woohoo. Okay, anybody else? Trouble, because sometimes if you're getting one of those weird red stop errors, it can really help everybody else.
You want me to stop this? You want me to keep it up?
Yeah, stop it.
It says couch mod is not fine.
Okay, go ahead and share with us. Because this is so much better than me going over to somebody's desk and helping them
Right.
one-on-one and no one else getting benefit from it. So never to embarrass you except once in a while. That's really.
So
When you-
it says, hold on.
When you define calc mod, you can capitalize the M, and then you're calling calc mod with a capital M.
But this is the capital M.
Yeah.
Yeah, but up here it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Right? Anybody else? Troubles? I can see there is. They're like, no, we're fine. I'm gonna figure it out later.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna work. This is gonna
Oh,
help
do I
me.
need to stop sharing?
No, if you're fine, let's make sure it's all good. Okay.
Come on.
Sorry, I'm tired. I'm not here. Typing.
Oh,
There you go.
Yay!
Now I stop sharing?
Stop sharing. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, and then I'm gonna share mine back.
Oh, no. I just got exit full screen so I can see all my stuff.
Okay, that's really a real screen. I can really type on it. Sometimes I can't talk.
Right?
Okay, so we've got our calculation module. We're getting our amount saved. That looks good. So I'm going to get rid of that print statement. That was just some debugging code. I don't need it. Everything's working good. So I'm going to type a different line of code over that. And this time I want to calculate our sale price. So our sale price is going to be our original price minus that amount saved we just calculated. Now again, if we thought we were having some sort of problem, we could put a print statement after this, print out whatever we wanted to see what's going on. We're going to go ahead though and calculate our tax. And our tax calculation is the sale price, cash register price basically, times our tax AMT, our tax rate. And then finally, our new total price is going to be the sale price that we calculated plus our tax. And of course, we could do these calculations in a lot of different ways if we wanted to. We could say the sale price is the original price minus this calculation, and we could make it one great big giant calculation if we wanted to. It would be harder for people to understand what was going on if we did it that way. This way, each piece of information that needs to be calculated is calculated separately so that we can simplify. Finally, let's create our output module. Now I'm going to backspace so that I'm not tabbed anymore, because remember, if I start that indented, Python is going to get confused thinking that it's part of our calculations module. So instead, we're going to make sure it's separate and put output mod. Now in our output, we have a lot of different pieces of data that we could use. So let's try and do some simple print statements and then some really advanced ones so that we can see both. So first of all, our print statement is the statement that we're going to use. And the very first thing we want to do is output a nice message like the item is, and then we want to add the item name. All of that stuff that we want to print is going to be within those parentheses. Notice when I typed that closing parenthesis, how idle kind of made everything go dark, like it noticed that that parenthesis closed. So that's kind of a helpful thing for you to know that you got everything matched up. So when we're printing out our item information, we have the string, the item is colon space enclosed within our double quotes. So it is basically one element of that print statement. And then we're going to concatenate or add our item name variable. Since our item name is a variable, it is not within double quotes. So string to print the exact stuff within the double quotes, variable names not in the double quotes. So this one I'm going to make a little bit more complicated. We're going to say the pre-sale price was, and then we're going to add the original price to our print statement. And then we're going to add another string. Percentage discounted was, and then we're going to add our discount rate. Now I want to test after this one because it's kind of ugly. We might have some errors. Remember, idle is going to highlight things properly for you if this file has the file type .py. So our string will be green within the double quotes, and our variable names should be black. So we should be able to see those differences. Now in our test area down here, I'm going to get rid of these print statements that we were using for debugging. And instead, I'm going to call our new output module. So now if I run this, I'm going to be prompted for my input. My sailboat is $1,000. It's 10% off, and it crashed. What's the matter? Must be STR, not float. Any guesses? It's complaining. It says not float. Float is a data type. So what kind of complaint is it giving me? It says it must be STR. So Python is saying you're trying to print out strings and numbers at the same time, and I can't figure out what's going on. So we're going to have to fix it. Now, go to your original price in your print statement, and right there, we're going to tell Python to cast that original price as a string. Just like in our input statement, we said, hey, cast that string as a number. Now we got to go the other direction and say, cast that number as a string. We need to do the same thing to discount rate. STR, open parenthesis, and then close parenthesis after the discount rate.
What if you put the casting as a print statement? Would that work or not? The casting as a string right after print. Cast the whole thing as a string. Would that work?
I don't know. Try it. What's it do? It would be easier. Okay, see if that fixes us. You guys did so good. You figured out that error message. Yay. Uh-oh. So mine says pre-sale price was 1,000, percentage discount was 10. So that's what we should be seeing. So let's see what, no, doesn't like that. Can you share with us?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Oh, am I hogging it? Okay, try that.
Okay, so I have this thing here. Oh, I don't have another.
See it? She sees it. What about yours, Nico? What you got?
Oh, no. First error we got, first time I got a syntax error too. But then I guess whatever I did, he did fix it.
Uh-huh. So you're all set? Okay. Did you get it? Oh, she's got it. All right. Everybody else okay? Got that big nasty print statement in there all right? Good job. Okay, so now I got to keep going with print statements here. Now that told them what the original price was. Let's go ahead and do a print statement where we're going to say the sale price and I'm going to convert that to a string. So what should we say? Sale price, blah, 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 plus sales tax of, and that's going to be our tax. How's that look?
Shouldn't we try and declare taxes float?
So you want me to put the STR in front of it?
No, because STR is string.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait, never mind. It'll automatically be.
No, I think you're right. It needs STR. It is a float, and we want it to be a string to print. I left that out. She caught it. Now, the only other thing I want to change in my program is down here where I'm doing all of this testing. We said that all programs should have a main. So let's create a main, DEF main. And then I'm going to indent these things, these calls to our functions to be part of our main module. So our main module now is controlling our program flow, just like those awesome hierarchy charts that we did early on. Now we have one more thing we have to add, just craziness of Python. We have to run our main. So again, the interpreter, the Python interpreter, is going to read all of our code, saying, oh, there's this function, there's this function, creating all that information in memory, but it's not going to do anything until it hits the end of all our function definitions. And when it sees this command to run the main function, that will begin the processing. So let's see if it works. Does it work all the way? Error. Anybody get any problems?
Not an error, but with my prices, the decimal points are going kind of insane.
Yeah, your decimal places aren't really looking too currency-wise, are they? So don't worry about that too much, because we'll find out how to take care of that later, to format those things better so it looks prettier. We could put a $sign in front of these if we wanted to.
Whoa.
But we'll learn all about formatting all of our output like that as we go. So don't worry about it too much, as long as our answers are right now. So I think everything looks good. Is everybody okay? You should make sure you've got this one working, because it's going to be like your first example. Now, our Hello World was really our first program. This one's a little bit more advanced because you've got functions and all sorts of stuff in it already. So it's pretty intense. Okay, we ready to close it then? Okay, take over. That's what I thought. Let me stop the share so you can share. Sales price is not defined. Do you see it up above too in our original? Yeah, okay, that looks good. Yeah. Try running it and we'll see. Looks like that was your new problem. Good job. Awesome. Anybody else? Take over. Let's get them all fixed here. Oh, good one. Oh, he did good. What's he missing? We didn't have any examples of this yet.
Nope. Invalid syntax.
It tells you.
Couple of things. What do we need? Indentation. What else? Whenever we're going to start a body like that in Python, we have to have a colon. So put that colon after those. Now try it. That should make it. Good, good. We needed one like that. Martin, did you have one you wanted to show us?
It's a singer with trace back most recent call.
Jonathan released that thing. Did you?
Input.
There we go. Okay, what you got? Now you guys notice how when I look at these ears, I'm always going to the last line, aren't I? I'm not wasting all my time reading all this other stuff because I know Python always puts it at the end. So I'm going to go to the end. Total price is not defined. Total price is defined. What's the difference?
Is it the spelling? I can't really see the screen.
Yeah.
It's not the spelling.
Is there a space?
Tax rate,
Is it the P?
744.31.
Oh, let's get you copy.
The P is capitalized when the variable is declared and not capitalized when it's used. So it says, there it is. Isn't it mean how it'll run it for a while and then cancel at the very end? So you think it's all good. And it's like, no, I'm just kidding you. Good job. Okay, that looks great. So before we close these, let's see if we can find out how to turn line numbers on. Wouldn't that be nice? So in idle, you want to go to options and let's look at configure idle. I still don't see it.
You have to search for them. Like do the add and then search for them.
I don't know. You think there isn't?
No.
Well, that's stinky.
What are we looking to do?
Add line numbers.
Oh.
If you, it says wherever your cursor is at the bottom right, it shows you what line your cursor is on.
Oh, I see. So that's a good one. Down here, it does show you what line number you're on, where your cursor is. But isn't that an awful editor? Maybe we can find a better one as time goes on.
So could we do stuff like this on Notepad++ where it has?
Actually, we've got some better editors. Better editors. But I'm worried about them because last semester we tried one of these better editors, and this person in the front row started crying and got up and ran out of the room. And never came back. Why? Because programming can be hard, I guess.
Good Lord.
Yeah, tell me if you're going to do that beforehand, okay, so I can help. At that point, it's a little too late. She snapped, exactly. So now I'm afraid to use anything but idle. No, we'll never change. This just was too much.
Way to leave a class, though.
It was way too much.
I dropped out of school. I can't.
You know what was really bad is it was like payback because the semester before when my allergies were so bad, this person was actually an advisee of mine and they came to my office and I was sick on them. They would not get out of my way. You know, somebody would, we're going to get sick. I'm going to get sick. You should get out of their way. not when they show you a new editor. So just so you know. Okay, so.
Crying is when you see a freaking wolf spider the size.
They're supposed to be fine. Okay, Code Academy. This is your first assignment. Now, it says it's due October 1st. That's a week from today. Let's go find Code Academy. Now, I'm going to search for the words Code Academy. Code Academy is a website, a training website. And the reason I search for it is, notice they leave the A out. So it's Code Academy. So if you just type that URL, it's really hard to not do Code Academy, but they are actually Code Academy. And then, bless you.
Oh my God, you scared me.
I almost ran out of the room.
When you get to Code Academy, I want you to go ahead and sign up.
Oh.
I'm going to get logged in while you guys are signing up.
What's that again? Oh, I already have this.
Yeah, if you're already using it in another class, you might
But I
already
used
be
up
set
my,
up.
What?
I already used
Do
my
we
free
need to
day.
use the email from PCC or not?
No,
Doesn't matter.
hey, Denise, Code Academy is free. You just had a free trial of Pro.
Of the
You
paid,
used it.
yeah.
I'll do that. So how do I get to it?
I haven't used it in forever. What is my password? Not that one.
I have no badges.
Ah.
I don't know what my login stuff is. I already did that.
I am nothing robot.
Now remember, I taught high school for a really long time. Can't remember your password? Set up a new account.
I know, right?
Come on, let's not worry about it for days.
I did that in high school.
That's what I'm gonna have to do.
I ended up having like 85 different accounts, and then it's like, oh, which account do I have?
I know, I can't get on mine. It's being mean to me.
You can just set it to some simple, like, I know, I have to whatever, and have to spin on it.
It's just being mean to me.
I would walk out. I got laws that when they did it, I was like, all right, sure.
At least you'd be-
But you don't do that now. Now it's like 3 or 5 other rules. They don't affect you.
Okay, so let's go to our catalog. Now, if you are having trouble getting an account, if they just use any email and password, we're just going to use this for a little while. And anything that is graded, you're going to turn into me. So you'll be the only one using it. I won't ever be looking at it. Now, if you look at Code Academy, the first thing we want to do is look at the full catalog. See what all is out there. Now, Code Academy has been around for a while now, but when they started out, one of their very first courses was Python. So this Python course that we're going to use has been out here. Like I say, that's one of their flagship courses. That's a problem for us because this course is going to be using the old 2.7 version of Python, and we're using the 3.2 version. The difference is going to be your print statement. So when you're using Code Academy, the print statement is not going to have parentheses around the stuff to print. When we do the print statement, because we're using the newer version of Python, we will have the parentheses around our stuff to print. So that should be the only difference that you notice, but it can be kind of a problem because we use the print statement a lot, but everybody's done really well with it. So they change all sorts of things. Man, oh man, sometimes you come here and it's all completely redone. So I want to go up here to by language and click on Python. And if you notice, one of their first professional charged courses was also Python. And guess what? That's the new version. So if you want to use the new version, you can, but you have to pay. So we're going to be looking at this free one, Learn Python 2. Sneaking right in the middle there. We'll just look at it.
They should have like a discount for like students and stuff.
They should.
25 hours.
I went and got my library card over the summer because you know the Springfield Library has a lot of resources that you can use for free. And one is that lynda.com subscription, and lynda.com has a lot of training and stuff like this too. And I found on lynda.com it says their intro to computer programming course had like 6 million people that had signed up for it over the years. The next course, that was the intro to Python course, had about 2 million, quite a drop off there. And then the one after that had about 150,000.
Oh my God.
What was
So
the one after that?
it was like websites with HTML and JavaScript. So it's actually easier than the Python one, but that's not the order they had them in. So all of this kind of training that's online and interactive is great for people to get started, and then they hit a brick wall and they can't go any further. And that's just what happens. So we're going to do it kind of together. Huh? And Code Academy, because of that, has actually hired people that just sit there at their office waiting for questions so that they can try to keep people going, because it is such a problem. Yeah, it's like, no, you have to pay for it. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. Let's start with this first section. So are you here? Python syntax, let's start it. So I want to show you how this thing works because it'll move a lot faster.
Oh, okay.
Now, they're going to show you some syntax and they're going to give you some instructions over here. So in this window here, it's telling us we're going to create our Hello World program. They're kind of giving us some code, telling us a little bit about that print statement. And then down towards the bottom, they're going to start giving us instructions, what to do. The forums are where people will help. So let's do this one. Using a print statement, output a message of your choosing to the terminal. So you're going to type right here in the middle. This area here in the middle is going to be your Python code. And then over here on this side will be your output. So it'll be a lot like using idle. It'll just be that everything's all on this one screen. So I can, all it wants is the print statement. So I'll say, here is a message. And then I can run. Woohoo! Yeah, you got that.
I wonder why the example doesn't have the parentheses.
Because in 2 you don't.
Don't need them. So it still took it, didn't it? What happens if I take those parentheses out? Let me try it without them, because it should have griped at me, but it took it. It does it either way. Ooh, maybe we'll be good and it won't give us a problem because of that. We'll see. Oh, it is saying, oh, okay, that could be why. We're going to ignore that you're using Python 2 here. Good.
You're always ready.
Yay.
Sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, no matter which way you go.
Maybe go and buy the next one and everything's wrong.
Print something using Python 3's syntax. Okay, so print Python 3 uses parentheses. And I'll run that. Now, when the next button activates, that means that you solved this problem, okay? You can move on. Now, they say whenever we're using things in double quotes, we're using strings. And they talk a little bit about how we could use double quotes and single quotes in Python, and how we can combine things. Try adding your name to the print statement with the plus operator so that this Python prints, hello, your name.
your name.
There's my name.
Good, that sounds like a joke.
Here you go.
What's your name? I got it wrong. What my name is? No.
But,
That is the cheesiest joke I've ever seen.
Isn't it? Okay, so they're gonna lead you through all this stuff. Now, a couple of things before you take off. Down here in this area, notice it's showing you kind of a table of contents of this course. So as you look at that, if you tap on that, you'll see which parts of it you've completed and which parts are remaining. And each of them are pretty quick, like those ones we've already looked at. They're gonna go pretty quick. Now your assignment says that you're supposed to do a couple of things besides just Code Academy. I also have a couple questions for you here that are from the python.org website. Should be very quick. Sign up for Code Academy, you already did that. And then I need a screenshot showing that you've completed the first couple units to finish this assignment. So where you get that screenshot is going to be up to you. I'm going to go, let me go back to Code Academy here. And if you didn't get a chance to do a screen capture while you were looking, here, this overview, your syllabus will show you. And if I were done with this section, it would all be green and it would say completed. So this syllabus section is a good place to come to a screen print to show me you have Python syntax and strings and console output done. So those two are the ones we want to do for Tuesday. We'll add the conditionals and flow control next week. So if you get on a roll, you can go ahead and do that one. We'll stop after that, and we really won't do much more in Code Academy, but I'll leave an extra credit assignment in Canvas for anybody who decides they want to go through the whole course. Give them some extra credit because there is a lot of great valuable information there. But we'll stop after our if statement logic because it starts getting really, really time consuming.
So we're just doing module 1 and 2 on this?
For
So
today, for this week.
Python syntax and then the strings and console? Okay. And this has to be done by Thursday, correct? Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Yeah, and you'll have the whole class on Thursday. Okay, so let's go someplace else. Now, I would let you spend some time, leave your Code Academy window open, and let's go back to Canvas for me so I can show you our other one.
How did you, I apologize, but how did you get from here to that syllabus that you were, I was looking at what you were doing.
I think I clicked back, or I might have clicked on that Python syntax. And then scroll down. Okay.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know it'll only work this
Yeah.
week. Next week they'll change it.
Oh.
Oh,
I was like, wait, what?
They're always changing their site.
Okay.
Okay, now Code Academy is the nice, pretty, glitzy website that you're going to use for training. Now let's look at the down and dirty, not glitzy site that you're going to use for training, Runestone Academy. Now, Runestone Academy is different. You guys saw Code Academy, they're in it for the money, right? They started out free, but we all knew at some point they were going to start charging, and they have. Runestone Academy is for free, and it was created by a bunch of computer scientists. So there's actually a book, How to Think Like a Computer Scientist, that a lot of Python classes use as their textbook. They've built this site around that textbook, and so it has some interactive activities. Let's see if we can get it to work. If you click on Runestone Academy and then open it.
Gotta make it.
Yeah, go ahead and create an account, sign up. Now, when you sign up, it's going to ask you for a course name, and you want the course CIS120, with the CIS all being in uppercase. So this course right here, this CIS120 course, is the one we're looking for to enroll in. And it is ugly. You go from Code Academy, all this pretty glitzy, we're going to charge you stuff, to, yeah, we're free.
Sorry, not giving him money today. No, you said CIS120, right?
Uh-huh.
No space between CIS and 120 or?
Right. It's like this all in uppercase.
I would think like computer scientists. We don't click make course, right?
Right.
What was it?
Create one. Uh-huh. Yeah, whatever you want it to be.
No.
Now this
Which one do we?
CIS120, did you see it? Now, whenever they created this site, they don't have the fancy web people that Cody Cody has. Not at all. But it's really good. It's some really good content. And if you search online, like teachers do sometimes, for what are the 10 best online training sites for Python, this actually comes up. Even though it's not as pretty and as glitzy, it does actually work.
Okay, now I'm at table of contents. What did I do wrong?
Yeah, it should be a table of contents.
Oh, hold on, it doesn't like that password.
Ah,
That's not good. It says no.
So let's start with this very first one. Now, I'm going to set up assignments, but they don't really mean a lot. Right now, we're looking at the section 1 introduction, and if I click on that, it just makes me confused. So I'm going to go back to the table of contents, because this is really the best place to be. Now, in the table of contents, let's start with the general introduction. Now, as you go through the runestone stuff, it totally is that textbook. So there's some reading. Right here, this one says, this is the way of the program.
am I the only one that thinks
I
it's
think
like
our
a
password wants a higher
word?
clip.
Do what?
Password wants a higher clip because it won't let anybody in.
It won't let me.
Won't let you in?
I'm in. Won't let me in.
See?
I used the one that it offered.
Put in about 8
Yes,
counts.
you have to, yeah, you gotta put CIS120.
No. For the password? No,
Just
it was
put
just.
it in.
Capital.
I just
Just
used
make
it.
one.
Okay. A typical one.
So it's not suggesting one, it's just
No.
suggesting a strong one.
Right, but no, it did suggest one just a minute
Oh, it
ago.
did?
Yeah, and now it's like, oh, I didn't do that. You're right. Okay.
It can be a real bear to get in. I found it out. Got
No,
in there?
still won't take it.
Don't give him
It has
any.
nothing to do with So, we calculate, I need to fix it.
You're good.
Oh, CIS has to be capitalized, that's why. It's so sensitive.
I know, it's like the silly programmers. So we want to sign up there.
You know what's up? Is if something happened to bring man back to the Stone Age, and then it was like we had to learn how to build computers. Of course, on the other hand, it might be a bit quicker because we already know all this stuff.
If there's an error, I can write how many people actually know today's error.
Oh, nice. You'll have to remind me. I'll
Yeah,
forget.
and then we can't make.
If you have an error,
Or-
it tells you what
Or
the
even
percentage
you
rate
can
was.
add-
Oh my God.
Okay, now they've got some reading, but it's a real, usually it's a real small amount of reading like this. And as you go through the material, you just use the next buttons And then the next buttons are going to mark that you actually completed that activity. Now, this is what's neat about the Runestone thing. Again, not as fancy as Code Academy, but they do have some practice questions that you can do online to see if you're getting an understanding of stuff. And when we finally get into code, like the Python language, they'll tell you a lot about it. This website actually uses that visualization website. So right here, let's see, I am in, how far did I get? 144?
1.4.
Yeah, 1.4 if you can get here, thank you. And I've got 2 print statements. And of course, they're using the newer version of Python. So my first print statement is going to say, my first program adds 2 numbers, 2 and 3. And then it's going to print out the answer of 2 plus 3. So I have all these different things I could do. So let's try save and run. If we do save and run, it just runs it just like you had that code in idle. You see the output. Now, if we do show in code lens, that's going to set up that visualizer that we were looking at earlier. And so it's ready to run that first line of code. I'll click forward and we'll see the output from the first line of code and then the second line of code. So all of that we can do from within the interface that they have set up. So it actually is really, really helpful. So Code Academy kind of is like a one-shot thing. It's like, this is how you do this, and it shows you, and it's like, here, this is how you do it. But they never show you how to really put a bunch of things together to do something real, you know? They're just like, this is how you do a print statement. This is a string. Whereas this one, the Runestone, kind of teaches you how to put all those pieces together to get a full program out. So you actually have 2 assignments here of training stuff. So for the Runestone assignment, let's read it. The assignment says, you're supposed to do the first 2, which is section 1 and section 2. Now, I'll be able to see that you got those done. So on this one, you can just submit the Canvas assignment. You don't have to give me any sort of screenshot. Code Academy, I can't see that you've got it done because you're not associated with any sort of class or anything in Code Academy. They would charge me too. So. Okay, questions? Lots of questions. How do you screenshot?
If it's gonna take a while, I would.
No, we need to look. So,
You can do the snip.
yeah, that would be my preferred way, would be to use the snipping tool.
So open right here and look up snip.
Okay.
In your snipping tool, you're just going to say new and then highlight whatever you want to get a screenshot of. And then you can save that.
This is what we do. Now,
Okay?
So now you have to do that. Yep. So then go to new. Now whatever you want the snip, you're gonna have to already have. Does that make sense? Like